Hello. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another session of Sprints. I am unsure what I'm reading. So, as you can tell from the banner, I'm still reading In Ascension by Martha McInnes, but I'm unsure whether this is like what I'm continuing. Don't get me wrong. I'm really enjoying this book. And I've just been really super distracted all week. I thought I was going to be done with this book already. And whenever I pick it up, I'm flying through it. But I've restarted watching Gilmore Girls, and I have not been picking up this book very frequently as a consequence. So I could definitely read this. But part of me wants to start a book that I've just received, which would be He Who Drowned the World by Shelley Parker Chan. Um, but on the other hand, maybe I want to be like totally focused on that, and so get like my two current reads out of the way before I switch to that. So that is my current debate. Hello, Sarah. I'm in hammock, sun, hot, sent ice cream. I don't think it'll work really well if I send you ice cream. Not entirely sure how nice that will arrive, but it will hope maybe still be cooling, but it'll be more like a sunscreen or something by then. Hey Larissa. Ole. Hey Ewald. That book looks fancy. Yeah, I've tried to show you not too much of it because this is an Illumicrate version of it, and there might be people who have ordered this version, but like the cover is the same one, I think, as the standard cover. So it might be a little bit different of a blue, probably is actually. But so yeah, that is book like that's like my most anticipated release for this year. Together with the Battle Drum, and to be fair, I bought the Battle Drum when I was in London in June and I still haven't read it. So I say it's my most anticipated release and then I don't read them. So I don't want that to happen to He Who Drowned the World. But probably I guess I will still continue it in Ascension for the rest of today. Now, I have gotten an internet cable to be able to directly connect to the cable, but I don't actually think it made a difference to my amount of connectivity. It's still just giving me like the very one bar saying connection is unstable. Yeah, thanks. I have started a new sci fi book tonight. Lovely. And finished The Justice of Kings last night. Yeah, I read your comments about it. Like, to be fair, it kind of gives me like FOMO. Kind of makes me go like, should I give it another go? But then on the other hand, I'm like, no, I don't DNF easily. So the fact that I was like, you know what, I really don't care enough, should be a good enough sign for me that I don't need to pick it up again. Hey, Judith. So what's the new sci-fi, and what are you going to be reading? Turn the Wi-Fi off to for, but it says that it's on the wired LAN, but uh, yeah, turning the Wi-Fi off. I don't know. That didn't do anything, I think, but we will see. I don't think it did anything, but we will see, I guess. But so yeah, Fate giving me her pathetic little meow. I had a great evening so far because I finally ordered in. I love HelloFresh, but sometimes I don't catch up to my HelloFresh in time, and then I just can never have takeaway. So now I decided like to not start my new box because in principle I should have cooked tonight, but then I was like, you know what? I'll take my takeaway night tonight. And normally, if I just cook according to the regular schedule now, it should be fine. Finished The Silent Patient during my lunch break. Don't know if I want to continue with Out of Love or Sense and Second Degree Murder. Fun title. How did you feel about The Silent Patient? I think that that was one that like people were very like mixed about when it was popular. Chapter 4 of The Justice of Kings. You will be attempting to finish it before Saturday. My plan is reading 50 pages of Library of the Unwritten for a buddy read. I'm on page 3. I think that that is the October book for the Howling Pack, right? Library of the Unwritten? Or am I getting that wrong with something? Because you also have like Library on the Mount Char or something like that. But I think it's Library of the Unwritten. That's the October book for the Howling Pack. Sci-fi book is book 2 of a trilogy, Jati's Wager, it's called. Good opening sequence. Nice. It was fine, 3 stars. Still fine. Train was delayed, so only just got off it. I'll join when I get home, but that's probably just as you've started the first sprint. Well, enjoy the first sprint. We will speak to you after. Hey, from the person with the stomach, not sure how long it will let me stay. Oh no. Here's hoping you'll feel better soon. Oh, wait. I just realized that I'm not even sharing the timer because I set this up like super late. And timer, yes. Okay. No, not in that layout. This layout, thanks. If I see you judder, I'll let you know. That happened often before. Maybe the wired connection will resolve that. Hopefully. I can also look into like my internet's plan or something like that because I don't think I ever bothered to get like the faster version of the internet. I'm still not sure that I will actually do it if that turns out to be the case that I'm like on a lower plan, but I can at least look at what it would cost, you know. But in principle, typically, I don't have many complaints about the internet. Though what was nice that because now it's on the wired connection is typically when I like just start up my computer and I open the internet, it kind of like it opens up to the previous tabs, but then it doesn't immediately have the connection. It like for a minute or like less than a minute, probably just like 20 seconds or so, it indicates that I have no internet connection and then it finds it. And so now it just like immediately had it. I do want to try to finish it before the live show. I do like the Justice ID, but not that far into it yet to have strong feelings yet. You're on a tiny screen on my device, so hard to tell right now. Well, you will really know if it's very disruptive then, because if it's disruptive enough to be visible on the small screen, then I guess it is quite bad in that case. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what to say. I'm not very I don't have much inspiration for talking today, it seems like. But what are you guys wait, no, that's not a new comment. What are you guys what are you guys reading for September? What's like your main book? Because I feel like I have so much on there. And so still somehow I'm just like feeling like I'm mood reading. I don't know whether that's just because I have so much on there that I've been meaning to get around to and haven't been able to prioritize. That the fact that I'm now prioritizing it feels kind of like mood reading or what. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping that I can actually do it. But as I indicated, I've been so distracted so far in September. I've been mainly watching a lot of Gilmore Girls. Also found a game on the phone that's just really bad for me, so I should actually uninstall it, but I probably won't because like usually with like mobile games, they have like a limit, you know, like after a certain period of time you have to wait or you have to spend money in order to get another shot. This game does not have that. It turns out that these limits are there for a reason, or they're there to protect me, because when there is no limit on how many times you can restart the game to try and get a high score, I just keep on going forever and ever. Oh, it's not disruptive because the audio is fine. Sci-fi sequel September. No new series this month. Sci-fi only. Yeah, sequels. Yeah, I filmed a video all about my progress with series this year. Spoiler: it did not go as planned. I love the cat cafeteria game. I got rid of that game, so that can no longer distract me. But now I got like a few new games because I always have like the Zen thing on there, like Zen Match. I love Zen Match, but that has limits to it, so I cannot like. And sometimes it's frustrating because it's like a very hard level, and cannot do much of it, and then you're already like blocked for the rest of like for hours on end. So this is currently frustrating me because I'm on a very hard level, and so I'm stuck there, which is the reason, I guess, why I downloaded a few other games. And then this other game is just like totally ruining my productivity now. Years ago, I made a box with little papers in them with book titles, and I just pulled the city out, but I have no idea what book that is. It just says that, the city. Or maybe it was like an abbreviation for like the city we became. Something else with city. It's just so comfy, but it sucks away your time. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I also just preferred like the every few days there was this sort of like event where you had like a magical tavern. And I actually just preferred that thing, even though that thing was too hard to do within the time allotted to you. So that kind of frustrated me as well. Still on the Atlas Defect by AJ Scudiere. I'm not entirely sure about that pronunciation, but I've been ignoring that timer. So let's go for our first sprint and see you guys in 40. How did we do? I don't actually know how much I read, I think. I mean, I can easily calculate because I was like at the beginning of the third portion of this book, I think. So here. So I was on page 239. So I don't know. 25, I think. 25 pages. Just more or less average pace for me. I feel like in the beginning I was really hoping for this to be a 5 star, and now I'm thinking like a little bit less just because like the setting of the first part really worked well for me, and now it's just like a little bit less of a setting that I like. So it's still good because it's still like very much like a fast-paced read, and the writing style really works for me. But I've lost a little bit of that sort of like push through it. I lost a little bit of that sort of like drive to find out what's going on. So I'm hoping that like that will come back if we get to like a later portion in the book. Um, yeah, that's what I'm hoping because I do really like. I really would love to have this be a really good experience. It's definitely going to be a good experience. It would just be great to have one of these book or prize books be a complete hit. But yeah, it's the first one that I'm reading, so who knows? Just in time for a sprint, Mr. Cherrybit, continuing with the Laatste Wachter series, book 1, 7 star. Wait, I'm trying to see this because is this then like this is a Dutch title, right? But this is not a Dutch title. Zevenster. Like the stat is Dutch and then seven. I don't know. Is this supposed to make sense? This word. 2 hours left. It's surprisingly good. Oh, that's always nice. Back from work, welcome back. Found the book It's a City by David Moody. Okay, never heard of him. Read 30 pages and I'm loving it. I forgot how much I enjoy fiction that gets meta about books and such. Yeah. Like, I wasn't sure whether I was gonna participate that month because I've forgotten why. Yeah, probably because I already have way too much on my October TBR. But then it also looks like such a um like perfect book for the month of October. So maybe I will still do it. Had a shower, put my dinner on, and then watched TV and cross stitched. Lovely. I showered. I found the book lol. Good on you. Yeah, I'm already like thinking about tomorrow morning when I have to go running. Uh, because it's like I already talked about this like last week, but it is getting increasingly difficult to make myself go running in the morning just because of like the fact that it's no longer light when I wake up. Like I went running typically around like 6:20 or something like that was typically when I was outside to run, but I was waking up earlier of course to be outside at 6:20. But now, even when I'm outside at like, I don't know, 7, I think, yes, like on Tuesday, I went running no, Wednesday, I went running at like 7. And then it was just like the beginning of light. So I really have to get used to that now because if I'm going to be running throughout like the winter, for example, then this is going to be the reality. I am going to be running in the dark. So yeah, I just need to get over that a little bit because now I'm just like constantly like, oh, what's that alarm clock? Oh no, I don't want to wake up. But if I don't go early enough, then I go to work too late. And if I do it after work, especially this week, it's way too warm. But even like once we get to like November and stuff, even after work, it's already dark. So yeah, this is the one thing that's currently getting in the way of my running motivation is like the weather. No, not really the weather, like the lights. It's very difficult to make myself do it. I put Nick to bed and read 13 pages of The Justice of Kings. I think I might like Helena. I never really formulated an opinion about her. I was just really indifferent to both the plot and all of the characters in it. 7 Pointed Star. It's still the Dutch title, minus spoiler. It's the main character's real last name. But even then, how are you supposed to pronounce it? Seven Ster? Then? Like a combination between the English and the like Zevenster I would understand, but Sevenster, it would confuse me. This would ruin the entire book for me, or what? Hello, Denise. How is everyone doing? I'm doing fine. I think I'm more awake than most than regular. That sentence did not indicate that, but I think I'm a little bit better awake than I typically am. I did not go running today to kind of ensure that I would have more energy by the time that we're at the end of the workday. So I'm going running tomorrow, and then hopefully also running on Saturday. But the Saturday session is giving me somewhat anxiety because so at this point in time, so it's always like 3 blocks which are exactly the same, so 3 sessions which are the same. And so at this point in time, tomorrow I'll do the final one of this, which has running bits of 4 minutes and 5 minutes. And the 4 minutes, it's fine. I've been doing that without really any complaints, even when that was the longest distance I was running. But the 5 is already like, when I have a block of 5, I'm already like halfway through, thinking like, okay, 2 more minutes, come on, you've got this. But so on Saturday, the 5 minutes running block will be the short block. The long block will be 7 minutes. So I'll have to run 2 blocks of 5 and 2 blocks of 7. So I don't know how my Saturday running session is going to go. I don't have a good eye in for it, but who knows? Maybe it'll go better than expected, and it'll be like a moment in which I realize that hey, my stamina has been growing over the weeks as it should have. It's dinner time, scoffing grub, go for it. Warmed up some curry from the fridge, added some extra tomatoes and peppers. And yeah, I call both of these peppers, but I guess chili and peppers from the garden. And then made a flatbread with some flour and yogurt. Nom 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 nom. Wow, you made it from scratch, that flatbread? I wouldn't, like, I would consider it too much effort, even though clearly it's not too much effort since you just did it in that small period of time. Okay, well, you can always lessen the 7 minutes if it's too much yet. Well, it's a schedule I need to follow. So I will still do it. I'll just have to like crawl along to it, like run at the most slow pace possible, which I always already feel is the case most of the time. Though last session, so yesterday, I did like for the second to last block, I was like, hey, you know what? Let's just run fast. I can do this. But then the last block was like, nah, I shouldn't have done that in the previous block because now I'm like completely exhausted. Yeah, it's a sort of couch to 5K. It's like the Belgian version of it, which was like made by like not made, but like the face of it was like a Belgian celebrity who did like a few of these programs. So we call it like Start to Run. And then she also did like Start to Swim, Start to, I don't know, yoga, I think. But Start to Run is a really successful one, and it really was successful. It was this sort of thing that like a lot of people have started to run using that program. It's kind of changed a little bit compared to how it was back then, and so the first time I did this program, I followed the original version, which I kind of liked more. It was a little bit more of a podcast, and so she would kind of say things throughout about like pumping you up while you're going, whereas now it's more of an automated thing. It's still the voice of the same celebrity, but you can clearly tell that it's sort of like she didn't she didn't um uh record all of these messages. It's more like it automatically has her say stuff like, congratulations, you've now run this amount of meters in this amount of times. This means you have burned over this amount of calories. And so it's very sort of like staccato, and she doesn't like, she will say like a little bit of a tip here and there, but it's not like it was in the podcast originally where she'll be like, come on, you're going well, keep going, whatever. So I enjoy it less also because in the original podcast, I think every session was different, and here it's always one week is exactly the same, and you're doing it three times exactly the same. So by the third time, I'm quite bored with this concept, and I feel like I'm not moving along. Whereas with the original version, like it was always kind of changing every session. So like you didn't have that same sort of like feeling of being like stuck in one space, even though it's just one week, you know. But of course, because I've been spreading out my training a lot more than I typically would, because normally you do 3 sessions a week, but with my hip problems that I was experiencing after week one, I've definitely spread it out a lot more. That, of course, doesn't help in this whole story, of course. But I'm hoping that from now on, I'm going to do the 3 sessions. Hip pain kind of came back, but I'm just ignoring it a little bit for now. Like, it hasn't gotten back to the same pain as it was after that first week, for example. So it disappears. It'll be fine. But so yeah, I'm hoping to run my first week of 3 sessions again this week, and then hopefully be able to continue that, because at my current schedule of doing 3 sessions a week, I will be done. I will have done my first 5K the week before I have to do the 5K for work. So I don't have much like reserve in there. You're already doing great. You're keeping it up and you go longer every time. Yeah, yeah, definitely. But it's getting like it's sometimes more difficult. This is why I also don't like to run with people, because even though I'm not running with people now, there is some competitiveness in the fact that we're like following one another. Like it definitely, of course, depends from person to person. You know, some people are like when we're talking amongst each other, it's just very much like encouraging. But of course, when you see the statistics of other people and the speeds at which they're running, it automatically unlocks my very competitive sides. And I'm not a great runner, so I should not be competitive in this sport because I cannot be competitive. I managed to make and cook the flatbread in the time it takes to cook the rice. Have to move rapidly though, no time to waste. So I usually make the dough ball before putting the rice on so I can do the dishes while the rice cooks. Basmati rice, so it takes maybe 10 minutes. The guest cat just came wandering in, all interested in my dinner, looks at me, pleading for something. Please, sir, can I have some more? I'm late again. Whoop whoop. No worries. Welcome. What are you going to be doing or reading tonight? Update on the intermittent judders. They're still happening here. Maybe a software thing. Audio is absolutely fine. It really isn't a problem though. Yeah, so it's must just be like the internet speed that isn't fully up to speed for live streaming, I guess. Because yeah, now it's on cable, so it shouldn't be like shouldn't have anything to do with the connectivity, I guess. Um, and like, yeah, it only tells me connection is unstable. If you're on Wi-Fi, try plugging it into your router or moving closer to it. Well, I tried to plug it into my router, so that's the final option I have here, right? Unless I want to do these live streams from my pantry, which is where the router is, but let's not go there. I'll be reading Girl, Woman, Other once I'm done with dinner. I think you liked it, right? Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I like interconnected short stories, so that was like something I really enjoyed about that one. I didn't particularly like every single short story perspective. I think the one in the beginning I don't really like, didn't really like all that much, for example. But yeah, I did like it overall. My dinner has just finished cooking. So hungry. Enjoy it. I had pizza, which I will totally blame one of my colleagues for, because she was like mentioning a promotion that Domino's Pizza is doing right now. I did not use this promotion because basically this is like to get a cheaper second pizza, and since I'm on my own. I was like, yeah, no, let's not do that. Let's not get a second pizza. Let's keep things unhealthy for just one day out of the week. But so now my stomach is very unhappy in the digestion of this pizza. I really struggled with the first story. Now I just finished the one where the mom has an affair with her daughter's husband. I had heard about that one before. I really don't remember anything about the particulars of this story, I think. I mean, I will remember one thing just because I did not enjoy that thing that happened. But this, for example, nope. That has, even though it sounds like something I should remember because it's quite a controversial storyline, I guess, and one that you don't stumble upon too regularly, or I don't in any case. I have forgotten everything about it, this book, clearly. I currently am kind of struggling with my wish to go places. As some of you know, I like postpone my holidays. And so I've been looking at potential other things, other destinations or stuff like that. And now I just want to go everywhere, see everything. Without coming to any sort of conclusion. I looked at some group trips, but then in terms of like the times when they take place and the budget for them, I don't think that it's going to be one of those. The ones that I was like most interested in was already fully booked, which would have been Costa Rica. But what I'm really at this moment kind of wanting to do is to go to Spain. But really, the only reason, or the main reason, let's not call it the only reason, would be to go to a bookstore. But I will say that the food definitely also is a huge enticement because I love Spanish food. So I also went on Erasmus to Spain. So like I love the tapas culture, so it would be great. But on the other hand, I'm like, yeah, I don't have anything actually to see in Madrid because that's where I did my studies. I know the city very well, but I don't really have an attachment to it. And I've been to most of the Spanish cities without feeling the need to return to any of them. I just want to go to a bookstore. Wait, here. Had some house drama last night when a critical system failed and was blaring at me. Oh no, that cut short my evening, and that's not great. Evenings are so short now at this time of year. Hammock time is over by 8 p.m. when it gets too dark. Yeah, I can imagine. It's not like you can take a torch out because then you'll just have mosquitoes attacking you. Are you just gagging to go to all the places? Are you in a travel prime now? Yeah, I really, really want to. But then on the other hand, I'm also like when I'm thinking about going places, it's like yeah, but then I leave the cats again for a while. So something like Madrid would then be more like ideal because I can just go for like 2 days and then the cats don't actually need to be taken care of in my absence. But then I'm like, yeah, but I also want to go somewhere. So I don't know what will happen. I also want to go to York. Don't ask me why. But then that's not really all that simple, though. I guess it's just not that simple because for some reason you cannot, like on the website where I look for international train travel, you cannot look at the UK. You can only look at London and not beyond. So it's like a little bit more complex. Not all that. I'm just too lazy, I guess. My father always told me I should go and see places, but I simply have never had the interest. The travel time there and back is super frustrating, and by the end of the day, I want to go home. I don't have that feeling like when I just get there. It's just like at the end of some 2 week trip or something like that. When you know you're going home, I'm also happy to be going home. Spanish bookstore for Spanish books? Yeah, for Spanish books, yes. I would like to read some. I've been saying this for more than a year already, maybe not always out loud, but definitely internally, that I would love to be reading more in Spanish to try and help me recover some of my Spanish as well. And when it comes to like what's out in Spanish literature, I'm like less aware of things. And I would love to just have the opportunity to just like browse the Spanish books, rather than like look online for things. I would love to just be able to browse a whole section. And I have a Spanish section in my bookstore, which is like one bookcase. But yeah, there it's like the big names, you know. It's like Cortázar, Marquez, Borges. It's like the really like classical, I guess. That sounds really classic, but the real established names. And I would like more of like the up and coming stuff, you know, those the stuff that's really popular or like really widely read and like of the moment, such as like Tender. Bookstore visit and the food could be enough reason to go. I mean, it's definitely enough reason to go. I also saw that they have a Picasso exhibit at this moment going on in Spain, for where they show like 50 of his more later works, for example. So that could be an extra inducement. And there's also Monet exhibits, so there could be reasons to go. I booked a trip to Thailand in February, and I was so excited. Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, you live in York. We have loads of bookstores. I don't need a further enticement to go. Actually, part of the reason why I want to go, which also sounds so stupid, is to buy one of those ghosts in that the Ghost of York shop or something like that. I just saw some like footage from York, and it looked so atmospheric. It would definitely be more for like, I don't know, November or December seems like the perfect time to see York, because it looks very much, or like Halloween, I guess, looks like very much that atmosphere. But so let's go for another reading sprint, and we'll talk more in 40 minutes. All right. I had a really productive sprint, I think, because I was on page 264, I think. So I read 38 pages in this one. So it's almost a page a minute, which is definitely not my regular speed. Typically, I'm more like 2 minutes for one page. So I'm flying through it again. Uh, and things are moving. Things are about to go down. I think I'm also probably close to the end of this section. Yeah, here the next session ends. So I will get through this entire section in the next sprint and be starting the second to last one, I think. Yeah. I have finished my 56 pages of Library of the Unwritten, very promising start, and I've now switched to Bitter by Kweki Medzi. I have read 50 pages of my new book. Here I'm going like, yeah, yeah, I read 38 pages and you guys are all reading in the 50, but it's no competition. I have read 50 pages of my new book, Jadi's Wager. We have been introduced to some characters, had some action, set up the gist of the story, and I'm into it straight away. That's always lovely when you're like immediately into it. Made it to page 300, don't know where I started. Yeah, I'm also at 300. I'm like on 302, I think now. Just finished page 302. Yeah. So completely different books, but more or less the same page. I read 20 pages of Out of Love to finish the chapter. I'll switch to Sense and Second Degree Murder for the last one. These are two of my favorite books. I read 35 pages of A Restless Truth, going to wash up from dinner and make breakfast for tomorrow now. Nice, that's really productive to make it ahead of time. A Restless Truth, is that like by Rebecca Ross? Is that correct? Perhaps unsurprising that it's a book too that I've chosen to read, so I might already be inclined towards the author and series. Well, still not. It's not a given to like be immediately invested in like a second book. I'll balance it out with 0 pages. I have not read it all. See, we have two on the zero side and then a few on the other side. I did do 2 races with Disney Speedstorm and made dinner. Also, I'm trying to convince Rosie to start crocheting. Good luck on that. The self-published Amazon books have a very nice hand feel. The paper is smooth and luxurious. Traditionally published books like Orbits tend to have a much rougher, cheaper feel. Okay, I should check it with my Sword of Kaigen. I do remember that like the paper has a different quality to it, yes, but I don't remember like thinking whether it was like better quality or not. I just remember thinking it felt different. What a coincidence! I can see either of them ending up as my favorites as well. 30 pages left. Nice. Maybe I can finish it in the last sprint. If not, shortly after the sprint, it'll be finished. Yeah, definitely. No, it's by Freya Marsk. Okay, no. I feel like there's also a Rebecca Ross book that has one of those words in the title, probably. My patience is. Oh no. I feel like something stung me there. Which is annoying. There's nothing is stinging me here right now, I feel like. So is it just an old one that's all of a sudden started to itch? Because last night I woke up like I don't know, the room was fully in dark, woke up, heard the buzzing of a stupid mosquito. Then I was like, oh no, okay, trying to get like the mosquito to the like trying to waft around me to get the mosquito away. And then at some point I was like, okay, fine, I'll just go to the bathroom and then I'll just start my day. But then when I was in the bathroom and like I checked my watch, it was like, wait, it's 1 o'clock. I was like, okay. I was under the impression that it was like 5 o'clock or something at the time in which I was awoken by this mosquito. So yeah, I did have to go back to the bedroom, and then I tried to like hide under the blankets, but I consider it so warm right now that was not an option. But apparently, I thought that I'd gotten away scot-free, but apparently this thing did get me. The book features a story so far reintroduction, and page 1 of each chapter is printed on a black page, opposite contrast to normal. It's a nice touch. self-pub books do nice things. Nice. Yeah, I love a story so far section. I think somebody in the oh no, it was with like the Labyrinth's Heart and stuff like that. So the Rook and Rose series, there's a sort of like recap. Looks like He Who Drowned the World does not start with a. Oh yeah, it does start with a recap, I think. So that will be nice because I didn't reread the first book. Hello, hey Barbara. I've had you on since start, but I was baking, so too busy to chat. Been listening to Fort Wing. How are you enjoying that one? I kind of want to try it at some point, specifically for the disability representation in it. And what are you baking? I want to know. I want to bake, but I also don't want to put any effort into it, so that doesn't really combine. I'm now sat outside at my picnic bench and have you on my iPad. Just grab a bar of chocolate, orange, and rhubarb oat milk chocolate flavor. Ha! That does not sound that great, but it can be, of course. I'm just like imagine, like I'm not imagining the chocolate bit in it. I'm just imagining a mixture of these two fruits, and that's it. Which that, of course, doesn't make for good chocolate if I don't imagine the chocolate flavor in it. In the next sprint, I'll do Duolingo and some meditation to calm down after my meltdown today. Well, I think I did Duolingo this morning exceptionally, so I'm actually off the hook for Duolingo for the rest of the day. I gave both of them 4.5 stars because I like to be complicated, but yeah, such amazing stories. I hope you love them too. Which reminds me, York is like the chocolate capital of the UK. There's a chocolate tour museum there, if I recall, perhaps something for your itinerary. Sure. I don't consider the UK to be famous for its quality in chocolate, but maybe York is the exception. My book even features an author's note that lets the reader know they can read out of order, though the sequential order is preferred. Nice touch to add that information to the book. Yeah. How does blueberry chocolate sound to you? You know what? I don't think chocolate with fruit flavor sounds like me. Like orange and chocolate, I kind of like, but I like it more when you just have like these candied oranges that have some chocolate on them rather than chocolate with some orange flavor in it. Have I had other chocolates with fruit combinations? Yeah, with like dried cranberries and stuff like that, maybe. Dried fruit works. Fort Wing sounds way too smutty for me. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna be smutty. Which I don't know. I always think that I don't like fantasy romance, so perhaps I won't like Fort Wing. But I'll like the disability representation at least intrigues me about it. Exactly. What are you baking? I baked a Slovak cake with fruit. It's called bublanina, and Fort Wing is fun, but not the best. Yeah, I mean, I think it is kind of like it blew up out of nowhere, and so many people were saying like best book ever, which kind of gave the a wrong impression, I guess, because based on what I've seen of people, it seems to be like a really fun ride that you can get really immersed in and stuff like that. But if you go in expecting this to be anything spectacular or anything special, then you're probably disappointed. This is, of course, just like assumptions based on what I've seen people saying. Maybe when I read it, I'll be like, no, people were absolutely right. This is the greatest book of all time. I slightly jest with the chocolate capital only because a lot of the indie chocolate companies that I buy bars from are in York. Nice. York is where Roundtrees and Nestle were founded. Is this a company? Because I don't know this at all. I may have not been reading, but at least I'll do some in this November. Okay. Cake. But yeah, white chocolate with cranberries is yum. I have that flavor along with a dark chocolate to balance the two out, sweet versus bitter. I did not Google that right because all I get is flowers instead of cake. What was it? Slovak cake? Bublanina. Bublanina. I get immediately a recipe. It's a picture. So sort of cake indeed with like cherries or something inside. Is that what they're putting in there? Yeah, cherries. Looks good. And here there's also one with blueberry. with blueberries in it. And then, okay, there are many more types of fruits. The first ones are always like cherries. Maybe that is like the most common thing. Back to where was I? Where? I'm kind of in the mood to bake some brownies. Oh, that reminds me, I think. Like, was it? Did I make that? Yes, I did, right? I think I made a brownie recipe recently for which you needed almost no ingredients, but one of the ingredients was a banana. And I have two bananas that once again have gone too far. I like my bananas when they're just ripe, so they need to be like on the greener side compared to the browner side. And so now I'm already like, I don't know, I think they're too far gone. So maybe I can make those brownies. Library of a Viking did a Fort Wing reading vlog that made sure I wouldn't read it. Then he followed up with a video after his wife read the book and they talked about it together. Nice. I do have waffles, but that's just not the same. I have like some small butter waffles, but I'm always almost done with them, so I want to keep some. Cannot Google confirmed. Yeah, you can use different fruits. I use strawberries now. When I was a kid, my favorite version was with currant because it's too sour to eat without sweet cake. Yeah. It's way too hot for baking over here. Yeah, sure. We have our hottest day of the year so far today, 32.8 degrees. My office is upstairs in my home and was hot and stuffy. It's true, it's true. It would add extra heat to this apartment, of course. Banana bread is always a great option too. Yeah, but like the thing that I baked that time was really like no effort at all. Three ingredients, but I will say that like maybe it was of course the amount that I had of the ingredients that made for it to be like not really like a thick brownie or anything like that. So consistency wise, it was a little bit disappointing, but taste wise, it was good. Banana pancakes that I did the last time I had an overly ripe banana. I made like oatmeal banana pancakes with it. But with fruit, it's difficult because I don't like warm fruit, and so banana when it's once it has been mashed and put into a mixture, then it's typically fine. But think that the banana oatmeal pancakes were a little bit too like warm fruity for me. I have apples falling off my dwarf apple tree, so I'm making apple muffins at the weekends. Yeah, a warm apple is like the devil for me, so that is not happening. I cannot do warm apple, but we had that discussion last week, right? About the crumble, which would be the potential exception to that. But if I see a cake, then the first thing, like a homemade cake, I first have to check like that they put apple in it, and if I see apple slices, I'm like, no, I'm out. But maybe I can do something over the weekend. But on the other hand, I'll probably be too lazy. Most of my weekends I have grand plans and then nothing happens of it. I don't know what Buffy is smelling over there. What are you doing? Okay. Cat had a weird, obsessed sniffing moment that has now resulted in lazily laying down as if nothing happened. And now staring at me because she realized I'm talking about her. Yeah, I am talking about you. I also don't like warm fruit. I hate apple pie, for example. Exactly. Ugh. Or applesauce. Ugh. If I see cake, I'm in. Fully in. All the way in. Cake. Yeah, no, not with apples inside. But like lemon cake I love. Warm lemon, that's fine, but it's also of course not you're not putting chunks of lemon in, you know. It's the juice. So that's if you put apple juice in the cake, I'm sure I'm fine with it. Oh man, more pie for me. Exactly. Apple muffin. I don't know. Cinnamon is also something that I feel like I'm a little bit difficult about. nuts, like tea with cinnamon in it, for example, not my thing. Now I want to make something with apples. Go ahead, make something. Make a crumble. Like I made it for work once, like for a team building. It wasn't that difficult. And then I said I will make this more regularly, and then of course I never did. I do a nice apple and ginger crumble. I'm meaning to try the garden apples as they aren't cookers. Oh, apple and ginger, like that sounds like a nice combination. Cinnamon, yes, I am in, all the way in. Yeah, I don't mind it, but it's like not my favorite taste. I like cinnamon buns, but it can quickly overpower, I feel like. And it's also like in I think it's also in Moroccan mint tea. And I'm unsure whether it's the cinnamon or the licorice, which I don't like in that. Yeah. Recipe for apple crumble, please. I mean, I don't really remember the recipe, but I have it somewhere, I guess, but I don't know whether I will ever find that back. The weekly food segment on. Yeah, we have to talk about food always, all the time. It's just a given. Uh, yeah, don't distract me. Buffy's like, yes, food, give me food, but you have food. Cinnamon is perfection. Cinnamon on everything, please. Yeah, no, not really. China, the new floof, is looking for Buffy now. It's a new sound for her. She's like, what's that? I recognize this sound from my animal instinct says that I should be on the alert when I hear sounds like this, right? I always find it so cute. Buffy doesn't really typically have much of a reaction to animals on screen, for example, or to the sounds of animals. But Faith is very much immediately alert, and even like before there are sounds. I don't think that she really watches that much along to TV. She does, but like even when I feel like she's just like asleep or something like that, the minute that there's an animal on screen, she is like instantly there. Don't sniff my armpit on camera. Oh, nice. The sound of TV cats attracting other cats. Yeah. Cinnamon on whipped cream with hot chocolate is so yummy as well. Cinnamon on whipped cream with hot chocolate. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But then it's like also a little bit of cinnamon. You're not putting a ton on it. The winter glow tea we have here has also cinnamon in it. That's like with the cute bear on it, right? Or not? Hot chocolate stinks. I don't find hot chocolate to stink, but chocolate itself stinks. So I can understand your comment there. And I once, like, I've told this story a few times already, but I once received like a chocolate face mask, and that's when I realized that I don't like the smell of chocolate, because the smell of chocolate all on your face when there's like no escaping it. I mean, there's of course escaping it by removing it, but when you're like really confronted with it, made me realize that the smell of chocolate is horrible. And then actually for work, I received from my workplace, I received like a random gift that they make for my birthday one year, and it contained another chocolate face mask. So I think like a month ago or something like that, I tried it out because I was like, you know what, rather than just throwing it away, let's just use it and see. Maybe I was just in a funk that day, but no, the smell is disgusting. I did not enjoy that experience. Just don't do cinnamon alone on a spoon and eat it. I mean, yeah, I was never gonna consider that. I haven't seen what the guest cat does with me on the telebox. Maybe more in autumn when I'm inside rather than out. It's been rare for the guest cat to arrive as you are on TV. Just once, I recall. I love hot white chocolate. Haven't had it in forever. Yeah, the smell of chocolate, especially in bad products, is not great. Face masks are quite scary. I mean, for people seeing somebody in a face mask, I can imagine. I actually really like Rituals has like a sheet mask, which I really enjoy. It's just that it's like super large, I feel like, or I just have a super tiny face or what. So it feels like it doesn't fully stick to my face, and like it's just like dead skin flaps going around, painting a very lovely image now. Oh, we're there already. Whoops. I once got a body wash scrubs cream with vanilla scent and I always threw up and passed out in the shower. It was too much. Yeah, vanilla is not my favorite smell of like bad products neither. Oh gosh, no, I love cinnamon, but I don't wish to die by it. I was in Lush today and they had a pumpkin sheet mask. It looks so funny. Oh, I want a Lush. It's like the one thing we don't have here in my town, so I would have to go to Brussels or so forth. And then in Brussels, they all speak French, and all of the titles of the products are like the French translations of them, which is very annoying. So if I need to go to a Dutch-speaking city, then I would need to go to like Ghent, I guess, Antwerp, maybe Hasselt. That could actually be nice because I haven't been in a Hasselt in forever, like a jack-o'-lantern. Now I want a pumpkin face mask. Oh, I need to try my pumpkin tea. But so, the timer went off. Let's go into our final sprint for tonight. See you in 40. Hello. I am now struggling with sleep. During the sprint, at times I was really feeling like, okay, it's good that this is the final one because my sleep timer is about to go off, it seems like. Um, so this is more or less where we were like now I want a pumpkin face mask. Would love to see the face of the mailman when I wear it. Actually, I wonder whether I would like the smell of pumpkin like on my face, having had the chocolate face mask experience. And that's me checking the Lush website and seeing that they have an advent calendar. But I think the safe thing with that is that a lot of their stuff is like bath bombs and stuff like that, and I don't have a bath, so I couldn't really use them except like if I put them in like a bucket and use as a foot bath, but it's different. So it might not be worth the price because they are quite expensive. Can't send the link, but it's the Halloween section just called Pumpkin Sheet Mask. Lush pumpkin sheet mask. That's indeed like it just actually it reminds me more of like Wilson the basketball from or is it a volleyball? Yeah, it's a volleyball, right? So it's not even orange from Castaway. Somehow during the sprint, I did not really read and I did not do the dishes, but I got my mom her advent calendar before it sold out. Nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the oil and vinegar advent calendar. I don't know whether they have this store in other countries. So basically, there you can buy like spices, different types of oils, different type of vinegar. They have like these breadsticks and different spreads that you can use for them. And so my sister had the oil and vinegar advent calendar last year, and I think that that is probably the advent calendar that I'm going to go for this year. Just got stuck doing Duolingo, then a brain game, and 8-minute meditation, no reading. Well, still sounds lovely. Past 100-page mark of Bitter. I really enjoyed a different perspective on the revolution that we are getting. Okay, nice. Read 39 pages. I was hoping to get to page 300, but I have to settle for 250, I think. Yeah, I was like hoping to finish like this chapter because the chapter ends over here, but like the timer went off and I was somewhere over here. So after the sprint, I will of course still finish like that one page more or less. Um, and then we are on page 340 more or less. And so it is just under 500 pages. Don't think I will finish tomorrow, so I still have a little bit to go in it on Saturday then, I guess. Read Twitter and Blue Sky, so I achieved little as it got so too dark, but I did an hour in the hammock before you went live, so I feel like I remain in credit for tonight. did my Duolingo, got ready for bed, and called my mom. I should mention, should text my parents as well because they are leaving on holiday tomorrow. Okay, I finished the raving dailies and have started on the armpits for the crochet sweater again. Third time, okay? I am now settling in to catch up on my YouTube subscriptions before I too struggle to keep my eyes open. I want a yarn advent calendar this year. I read 13 pages of Justice of Kings and I'm intrigued if they will solve this mystery. TFI Thursday. You and your abbreviations. You know my brain doesn't work like that. That means we're right there butting up against the end of the week. One more. Thank thank fuck it's for Thursday. That's all my brain is giving me now. One more day to go, exactly. I ordered my Muesli Deluxe Advent Calendar. Yeah, I had that one a few years back. That's probably one of my favorites I've had so far. And in that one, I had like also a few like functional items, let's call them, like things that you like that weren't a muesli or porridge or whatever or tea, but that were like I don't know, let's say I will use general terms that don't necessarily mean the thing that's that was actually in it, but it would be, if, let's say, for example, a bowl or a cup, things to prepare the muesli or whatever with. And those I really enjoy because I still use them, and it's lovely to have such functional things. I actually still have some of the muesli that I had back then, because some of them I did not get to finish during that month because of like schedule and not being at home or forever, for example, at that point in time. But I don't have much left, for example. But I also ordered one like big muesli pack from together with that advent calendar, and I actually still need to eat that. But it would be perfect for the winter season because it has like snowman. I ordered a bookish advent calendar from a small business. Nice. My parents. Oh shit! Now I am just discovering like bites all over. Like, is there like a mosquito secretly biting me at this point in time without me realizing it? Because all of a sudden I have them everywhere. So my parents are leaving for the next holiday the day after tomorrow, but we also said our goodbyes early during the sprints. I also might order the bookish calendar again this year. Really liked it last year. So it was that. Okay. Where do you guys order the bookish one exactly? We have a shit road at work. It's my turn to take that shit this week, so the sooner the week is over, the better. We used to have a team of six, so 1 week in six. Now it's 1 week in four. Like I hope you're not talking about a literal shit rota, but I want a bookish one, but I'm afraid it will be too expensive, especially to have two advent calendars. Yeah, also like to potentially get books that you already have. 7 pages left, solid 4.5 book. Other three books in this quartet I'll read in October because of the main character seeing and interacting with ghosts and demons and other creepy dead creatures. I'm a big fan of their muesli. My fave so far is the strawberry cheesecake flavor. I think it was no, it was not True My Muesli, but True My Muesli, I discovered overnight oats, and so I started making so much of it after I had their advent calendar, and then recently, let's say like the past 6 months or so, I've also discovered that I do like warm porridge because I have previously in the past tried that and then it wasn't for me. But now I found a way that I enjoyed in any case, and so now I haven't been making overnight oats as much, even though like I cannot be bothered to make warm porridge in the morning except for in the weekends when I have more time. So I should just still make the overnight oats because that way I still have a breakfast. I'm covered in mosquito bites. Well, I thought I wasn't until right now. Maybe I should start looking for a cool advent calendar myself. Yeah, sometimes like for certain ones you do have to look really in advance to make sure you still have them. For example, the Rituals advent calendar, so the beauty brand Rituals. I know that a colleague of mine, the year that I had my Rituals advent calendar, a colleague of mine also wanted that one, but it was sold out by the time that he tried to get it. So when one of my friends, like, or one of my colleagues, was in Luxembourg, and they looked for it for him there to see if maybe it was still available in Luxembourg, but it wasn't. So I don't think it was like extremely last minute, but it's like I don't like so but I also don't think it was like super early or anything like that. So I think if you look well in advance, you will still have all of the choices in advent calendars. But for some of them, definitely don't underestimate how quickly they can sell out. I just get my advent calendars as gifts, and I usually have like 4 or 5. Yeah, I tend to have a few in the past few years. I will probably see if I can find another tea one this year that I haven't had before, because I just love the tea advent calendars most. But I've had a lot of them as well already, and none of them have like convinced me enough to want to have the same one again. So still need to be on the lookout for that. But we are arriving at the end of sprints. I still need to schedule next week's sprints, but they should just happen uh, as regular on Thursday evening as they happened this time around. And yeah, thank you all for being here. Have a lovely night. All right, night. Night, night, folks. Over and out. Exactly. And enjoy the rest of your week and especially the weekends. And see you next week, guys. Bye.